All right, we got glutes and hamstrings today, and I'm gonna mix up the workout a little bit. I'm still hitting glutes and hammies, but I'll go over the routine I'm gonna go through today, and then I'll go over what I've been doing and explain that the difference is minimal, but I'm gonna be hitting almost 4 completely different exercises for a glute and hammy day instead of the original 4 I do. So let me just lay out today's plan. Let me lay out the usual plan. Why am I mixing it up? Just out of pure enjoyment, being able to enjoy the leg day a little more. I want to do something different for glute and hammy today. So I'm going to hit a few different exercises, and it's all going to end with the same result of growing, getting bigger, getting better. So today is going to be 4 exercises, and I'll do calves and abs. First exercise will be a Nordic curl, but on a 45-degree back extension. So I'll start with that today, where I mainly focus on hitting hamstrings on it instead of like glutes or lower back. So you'll see, I'll do it a little. It's a variation of the 45-degree back extension, so it targets your hamstrings. And then next thing I'll do is a sumo squat. The reason I'll do that, I'm either going to do it on a machine, like a machine sumo squat, or a barbell, probably machine, if I'm being honest. The muscles that get hit on a sumo squat are a little different than a regular RDL. I mean, if you're trying to go for like a PR or something, sure, you could call that cheating, but the fact that I'm doing sumo for the reason of hitting a different muscle group, man, I'm not sure what you'd be calling cheating there. It's just I'm trying to do a different exercise. So I say that because I used to think there was no point of ever doing sumo, but learning today's workout was actually kind of one that my coach showed me that he liked to do, or at least run with his clients. It actually just hits different parts of your legs. It hits more of the adductor, the inner part of your thigh, hamstring, different parts of your glute as well. So overall hitting something different. And then after that, I will do a hamstring curl, and then maybe a hip thrust, like a hip thrust machine. So I guess 2 of the exercises are different, but the whole order of it's different than my usual. So my usual is doing hamstring curls, standing hamstring curls, then an RDL, and then a laying hamstring curl, and then the 45-degree Nordic curl, then calves and abs. So 2 different things today going on, or not 2 different things, a different glute and hamstring day today. Like I said, they're both going to get the job done. They just hit slightly different ways or hit your glutes and hammies slightly different, but in the grand scheme of things, it is not a concern of thinking like, oh, I need to do it this way right now because I need to grow this part of my glutes and hammies. Like, they all got to grow. Everything's got to get bigger. Way under my weight cap, and I don't think fine-tuning is a problem. I think just getting bigger is the overlaying issue. It's not really an issue, it's just something I like to do. It's the overlaying thing to strive towards. So, I mean, like, if you're working on tiny details within your physique, I'm trying to think of like an analogy. That's like worrying about what color you want your house to be before the house is even built. I guess that's a decent analogy. Like, dude, the house isn't even built yet. The house is not going to be built for another year. Let's make sure we get the house built right and actually build the house with a solid foundation before the hell we give a shit about the color of it. So that's actually not a bad analogy. So that's what I mean by being okay with the 2 different leg days today for a glute and hammy day. And what else we got? I guess 2 of them are mainly hamstring. 2 of them are like glute-ish exercises. I don't know what I was going to say. Just given the fact that I rattled off, probably somewhere between 6 and 8 different glute and hammy exercises. Oh, that could have been bad. Almost ran over some shanks of wood on the ground. I'm good. Anyways, imagine having a full glute and hamstring day with the amount of exercises in this, and then trying to do quads as well. That would be unrealistic, because that would be like a 3-hour long workout, which is why it's only glute and hammies today, and then why I have a quad day as well. I found that's what works for me. If you're not at the point where you need that much volume for your leg day, then by all means, having one leg day is fine. Throwing quads and glute and hammies on the one leg day once every few days, 4 days or so, that's fine. It just gets to a point where you eventually need more volume to keep up on everything. I'll use the really, really quick explanation for that in case you haven't seen other videos. A beginner can do 3 sets of chest, 3 sets of bench press, and their chest will start to grow. Mr. Olympia, if he goes in the gym and does 3 sets of chest, he's actually probably going to lose muscle. Probably needs even more just to maintain what he has. So the difference between the volume that Mr. Olympia has to do, or an Olympian has to do, to 1, maintain the muscle they have, and 2, to actually grow on top of it, is significantly more than the beginning of a beginner. So with that being said, there is a middle ground of, over time, you have to do more volume in order to continue to grow. I think that was the clearest explanation I can give. So, no, by no means I even near an Olympian, but I am at the point where it takes a little bit more for me to continue to grow, which is why I split it into 2 different leg days. There's plenty of ways you can go about it. Like, I know my coach, he does his split leg days, but he does like just a little bit of the other muscle group on his leg days, because I'm sure he actually requires even more. He doesn't do more exercises, he kind of just does more sets of everything. That's how he checks the box and more volume. But like his leg day would probably be like what I'm doing today, but then he'd throw in like quad extensions for 4 sets to get just enough sets in his week for quads as well. And then once he has his quad day, he'd throw his in like hamstring curls on that. So that's how he makes the volume work for his workout. I'm assuming he still does that. That's at least last time I saw what he did. But the point being made is there's plenty of ways to go about it. What the heck is going on? Yeah, that's the reason behind what I'm doing today, why I'm doing these exercises, why is it organized like this. Now you know. So it is Saturday at 5. Hopefully it should be empty in there, which is nice. I can explain a little bit more to you guys. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I got anything other than that to explain before the lift. I think that was a solid explanation. I'm about a minute away, so I will see you guys on the 45-degree back extension, because I'll start off on that. So hopefully someone isn't on that, because I'll probably be very tempted to go just start with a different exercise. So, all right, see you in there. All right. This is what I meant by Nordic curl, but on like a 45-degree back extension. And you'll see when I do it, actually hit my hamstrings instead of either glute or lower back. This part of my quad is the only thing that's going to be driving me up on the movement. So you'll see it, like my entire upper body stays the same. I think it hits the lower part of your hamstring. I could be totally wrong, but that's definitely what kills after doing this. But normally I'll start with like hamstring curls, but just for today's workout, it'll be switched up, as well as the type of RDL I do. All right, let's get it. All right. I will say doing like a sumo squat, at least for this case, if I'm not trying to do like powerlifting, a little bit easier on like either a Smith machine like I'm about to do, or any machine that you can do like the fuck am I trying to say? Sumo squat on. Just because like trying to get through reps when it's not on something fixed, once you get to those last few, if it's like a free weight, usually throwing something else in there like your lower back or some shit, so makes it a little better on this in the context of bodybuilding. So, and also being able to set yourself up each time and actually use like the axle as like leverage to still keep your back straight, to hit actually more of my glutes and hammies in this, is an added bonus. So I'll do these as not as like an RDL, but actually just reps through it. But that being said, make it higher reps because I'm dropping the weight each time. All right.
So we got 3 more sets of this, and then supposed to do, at least to the program I said before starting today, 4 sets of like hip thrust. I really want to throw in something else other than hip thrust, but maybe I'll do it. I honestly think this routine goes way quicker than my other one, so I might actually just throw that in and be fine with it. The only reason I'm hesitating is because they're exhausting, but the fact that I'm saying that, I feel like I should do them then. Alright, anyways, let's keep going. Dude, I gotta say, just the amount of food, just the amount of carbs from this being this deep in the bulk, 5,300 calories. I think I calculated how many carbs are in my diet right now. I think it's like 600, which is quite a bit, but dude, they make me so tired. But you usually would think if you had more, it'd make you less tired, but it gets to a point of like, if you have just a complete overload of it, like in a bodybuilding diet, it makes you tired because your body has to use more energy, not energy, just there's more going on, focusing, digesting all the dang food that makes you tired. All right, anyways, let's get it. I am not doing a drop set on that right now. Holy shit. That last set was definitely plenty to not do a drop set right now. Alright, let's go do some hip thrusts, calves, abs, pose, and get out of here. Okay. Alright. I will do the hip thrust, but I had to think of to make an angle of the camera to not make it gay. So I think it's just going to be 4 sets. I'm not going to move the camera. For both of us. I don't think either of us want to see a different angle. So I'll leave it right there. All right. That's not going to stop me from doing these though. Get the full workout in. Finish up on glute and hammies. Okay. I haven't done these in a while. You know, like getting back into exercise you haven't done. Oh crap, my throat. Getting back to exercise you haven't done in a while. Like just the feeling of it. Way different. Just because like mentally you're not used to it from taking a big break off. I am definitely going to be sore as shit. Just because of that. Especially if mixing up the workout. Oh well. That's how it goes. Oh. Alright. 4 more sets looking at the same angle. Or 3 more sets. Okay. Let's get it.
How you doing, bro?
Hey man, how are you?
Good, good. Have a good workout, bro.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Pull this over real quick. All right. Last one.
Yo, bro.
I dropped the plate on this just because I wanted to get more reps. I think I'm ruining the set by doing this. I got to wait a little bit. I took a whole plate off just for the last set to get a little more, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna get like 45 reps on that. So let me change the weight. All right, so I gotta say, this may be the first bulk that I throw out from a leg day. I'm not trying to. I obviously don't want to, but honestly it might happen. Today, after doing hip thrust, almost threw up. And last quad day almost threw up, but I don't know. I feel like maybe one of two things. Not train hard enough to actually yak from it, or I actually wait a little bit after eating before, especially leg day, just so that doesn't happen. But dude, if I down giant meal and go hit quads or hamstrings, not only will I probably throw up, but just the quality of the workout's gonna be awful. Trying to fight my stomach not from just throwing up. But all right, let's get to it. there. So I will say, still keeping relatively lean from this bulk. I'm still not gonna like make the end of this bulk turn into like a prep for a show, because I'd much rather have huge difference between the times I'm on stage, like the look, rather than compete once a year. Like you'll absolutely see difference between your physiques a year ago and then next year, competing wise. But I don't know. I feel like I'd rather just wait a few more for my own sake of seeing like a drastic change. Because obviously, competing once a year, you'll see slight changes. But like if you compete once, wait 3 years and then compete again, if you're on top of everything, it'll be like night and day difference. And I do think there's it gets to a point if you compete too frequently, like you're not gonna have enough time to actually get bigger. So. I feel like that's two routes people take. Some people just get max their weight cap and then just try to wipe through their shows, or compete in one show, wait 3 years, compete again, wait another 3 years, compete again. And that's kind of just the route I decided to take, instead of trying to get max weight and then just run through shows. Who did that? Anton? I don't know how to say his last name, but the Russian guy I think he's an Olympian, qualified for the Olympia, same age as me. That's like what he did. He got to his weight cap, won like 2 shows in a row, then competed in a pro show. I think you have to win like numerous pro shows, but he won one of those, and then now he qualified. So, but anyways, just pointing that out. Let's get in the car.
All right, let's get out of here. Tweaking. Okay. I'm gonna spin around this way. Doing donuts in the parking lot here. Yeah. Ever seen a glue and hammy day like that before? I mean, it wasn't that crazy, but like, there's I would say not typical routine that you'd see, like the average bro routine. But yeah, solid. I will say my hamstrings are hit differently than how I normally hit them. They're still relatively hit the same. I'm just talking about just like the tiny details between what got hit within my hamstring, but basically the same shit. So yeah, that's what we got for a Saturday evening lift. Oh, I might be in the way of this guy. Hold on. Sorry, I was just sitting in a crosswalk. Anyways. All right. What is there to talk about from today's lift? We got I don't know. I guess just like the scheme of what I did. I already went over the whole scheme of my workout. You don't need to hear that again. Tomorrow we got a rest day, so no video for that. After that, we're back to a shoulder day with some chest and try at the end. So, and yeah, from there, I mean, I don't know. Let me think of something that younger me would have wanted to know from my more knowledgeable self today. When I was first working out, like, and not like intermediate me, but like I'm talking when I first started lifting. I don't know, what did I not know? I guess when I first started working out was like looking at what exercises I could do for a muscle group because I didn't really know all the exercises, but I guess in the most basic sense, I used to look at like Muscle Wiki, which is like a website that you can like click on a certain muscle group on like a character on the screen, and it would just light up like exercises for that. But I mean, nowadays you can just ask ChatGPT, like, give me a list of exercises I can do for this muscle group. So that wasn't available 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Maybe it was, I just didn't know what it was, but I don't think it was available 6 years ago. So yeah. What else would I wish I'd known? Oh, I know. That just because you're force feeding yourself, two things actually. Just because you're force feeding yourself doesn't mean that you're growing. One. Another one is just because you're eating more does not equal better. As in like eating more, way more food than you're burning in the day does not equal more muscle. As in like there's only a limit to how much more over you should eat to get muscle, otherwise it's mainly going to be fat. But I'll take that a step further because I think people know that. This does not mean the type of food you're eating. You can get fat off chicken and rice. That's a pretty big point to make because I feel like people only think like you can only get fat if you overeat on like ice cream or something or a dessert. But let's say I overeat on the same amount of calories total from chicken and rice as on ice cream. Both ways are still going to gain fat. They both will. Now, yeah, sure, you could be like, well, protein is harder for your body to convert into fat, and carbs alone are more difficult to convert into fat. It's usually a mix of carbs and high carb and high fat that turns into fat. But with all said and done, your body's going to do something with that extra food. It's not going to just say, F it, this is not here anymore. Like, it digests all of it, regardless if you want it to or not. So yeah, you can still get fat off of chicken and rice. I got fat off of chicken and rice my freshman year because I just kept eating more and more, and I thought eating more and more just made you bigger. It sure as hell made you bigger, but you still can get fat. So that's a common misconception. I wish I knew when I started working out, but luckily, even with me force feeding myself and eating like more and more on top of it, and not actually tracking anything at the time. I was a sophomore in high school. I didn't bother to track. I cared more about, I liked the working out, but I mean, it was like sports as well. I mean, I was just getting into it. I wasn't trying to be a full, what do you want to say, full lifestyle like I'm doing right now. But I lucked out. I want to say lucked out, but I didn't get fat from just slamming food, more and more food, because I was lifting as well as walking around school all day for 7 hours, and I was also playing a sport. I was skating on the ice for practice every day for 2 hours. So that's a whole lot of cardio in my day. I was burning a crap ton of, burning a crap ton of calories. The person was on the wrong side of the road, and he almost just ran into me. That was wild. Sorry, that just threw me off. That was wild. But yeah, just because of the crazy amount of cardio I was doing, and also being younger, I was cranking through calories. So the fact that I was force feeding myself and eating so much food was probably a good thing. That even if all of it wasn't clean that I was eating, because I didn't really give a shit, because I knew of how much exercise I was doing, that I would eat whatever I wanted to. Like at recess at school, I would eat, this sounds a bit bougie, but like I would eat either a donut or I would eat like a pretzel with cheese soft pretzel cheese, because they're selling those, or I'd have like a slice of pizza or something. Sounds unhealthy as hell. It was, but assuming that most of the kids at my school were in a sport, they didn't really care. But they also made that because they know that's what guys would want. I went to an all-guys school, so to make more context to it of why mainly most people there played a sport. So yeah, what else would I have wanted to know? I think I would have also wanted to know that like rest days are okay and actually need them. I guess that also plays into more does not equal better. Because by that sense, like, why don't you just train for 8 hours a day? No rest days, 8 hours a day, make it full time. It's like, well, because there's a point where you need a rest. So, I will say, like, the rest days are just as important as the training days. Now, I'm not saying rest all the time, but, like, you at least get once a week, bare minimum. I take, like, 2 a week. Once every 4 days, so 2 every 8 days. Or it is 2 every 8 days. That's what I got. And found that works for me. And I think that was something I wish I knew. Because also playing a sport adds to the more fatigue on your body. So even then, I'd probably need to even take an additional rest day. I also thought like I'd be fine because I was like 16 and I was like, I'm young, I can recover quick and I'll be fine. But like to a degree, but I mean, shit, with that amount I was doing, you still need to throw those rest days in, which I realize more now. But yeah, those were like the main things. What else? I know another thing I used to do was like I try to like sleep so much. I try to sleep any chance I could get just to like grow more, because I knew that, or I understood that there's like 2 periods or 2 times of the day that like you actually grow. One of them is right after you work out, or not right after, but after you work out, and another time is when you're sleeping. So I was like, if I want to keep growing, I got to sleep more and more. But like, if you get anywhere between like 7 and 9 hours a night, that's all the sleep you need. You don't need to take midday naps to get bigger. Like, that's overkill, and it's not going to do anything more. But I thought it did more, because I thought that's what helped me grow. I'd work out, I'd have a ginormous meal, and I would instantly take an hour and a half nap or something, because I thought that would like help make me get bigger right after the workout, which obviously you don't need to do that. Well, now it's obvious to me, but 6 years ago, nah. I did anything I could. I didn't know a whole lot, but I sure as hell trained just as hard as I am now. So I will say that, and the consistency was still there as today. Right off the bat of me going to the gym, it has been a solid 6 years of training hard and consistent. Like I said, like I learn more as I go, but I knew in the beginning, train hard, and I've been all the way on that ever since. So yeah, that is one of the bigger things I would say as well from a beginning standpoint is like, it's okay to not know everything, and it's expected to not know everything. And train hard, eat your food, get your sleep, and you're making progress as you go. I mean, I do think that part of like the online with all like, oh, take peptides, or even taking like gear, I feel like it's kind of thrown in your face. Well, it just depends on what your feed is giving you. My Instagram and TikTok feed don't really have any fitness stuff anymore, just because I kind of stopped wanting to watch it, because it was kind of, half of it was just kind of like was annoying to me. It's just a bunch of arguing, dude. Like, I don't want to just watch a bunch of arguing on my feed. I go on there to like have a laugh or some shit, or get some quick motivation. But other than that, I mean, half the fitness stuff is just people arguing over who's right and who's wrong. So I'm like, I don't want to watch this. But I will say part of that also is the peptides and gear thrown in your face. So look, this is being down to earth about it. Again, if you're trying to do that to like fit in or whatever, but like, enjoy the process, dude, because think about it from a long-term perspective of how many years are actually put into what is going on. How many years are actually put into training? Like, guys train for years. Like, think of the pros, how old the pros are. Like 30s, when you're 16. Do you think you need to look like them at 17? Come on. If anything, if you try to do that, you're screwing yourself, and then you're never going to get to that point. So, if you already screwed yourself, you're not really screwed, or you're not screwed, but I will say get a coach as soon as possible that can help you out. You know what I mean? So, that's just definitely a big takeaway, because, I mean, it's tempting, so... I think the big thing for me was I didn't want to like mess up the neurochemistry in my brain. I'm too sharp right now to screw with that. I guess I pride myself on being witty, so I didn't want to screw that up. Because yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens that I guess at a surface level you don't really realize. You just want to get bigger. So yeah. I think I'm going to call it there, because I think that was a good talk. I think those were like the main points from when I just started working out, and like some of the things I wish I knew. So I appreciate y'all watching. Rest day tomorrow, no video after this one. Day after that is shoulder. So I will see you guys in 2 days. Peace.